you sign this letter that was released today?
I don't know, did I?
Wait a minute, that you can say, right?
That does not look like my signature, does it?
It doesn't look like your signature. So you're saying perhaps this letter was written and released without your approval. Do you know where it came from? Do you have any idea?
I do not know where.
You do not know where it came from. I know you either do or don't have a non-disclosure agreement, which, if you didn't have a non-disclosure agreement, do you have a non-disclosure agreement?
Do I?
You can't say whether you have a non-disclosure agreement, but if you didn't have a non-disclosure agreement, you most certainly could say, I don't have a non-disclosure agreement. Yes?
You're so smart, Jimmy.
It's like Pulitzer-winning stuff. His ability to like question around that. I mean, truly, we know a lot more about what was going on now.
Just incredible word games, and some of them came up in court today. There was an email that was sent over, a few from the Wall Street Journal, and they were about to publish these stories, and they would send over a note that would ask Keith Davidson, was there a hush money payment made? Things, and Keith Davidson's in the court, and it came up in some of the documents, he would say no, because it wasn't a hush money payment. It was a consideration for a civil settlement. And another point, we've been laughing about it. The government lawyers were asking about, was it a sexual relationship that they had? And it wasn't. What was it? It wasn't sexual. There was no relationship between Stormy and Donald Trump, so they could deny that. And like they were just it was just incredible the way that they were playing with language.
I mean, how did juries take that?
So what happened was Keith Davidson twice had sent letters that essentially said there was no romantic sexual relationship, and the DA quite rightly said, can you essentially score that in terms of truthfulness? Sort of a great question, because there's no bad answer to that. And he says it was truthful. And he goes, could you square how there was no romantic sexual relationship is truthful? And like, how is that? And he goes, well, no one has ever accused Stormy Daniels and the former president of having a romantic relationship. And then later he says, well, there was no sexual relationship. That's in another writing by Keith Davidson. And he said, again, the DA says, well, how do you square that in terms of truthfulness? And he goes, well, no one would say that they actually had a relationship. It was just a one-night stand. To be fair, Mr. Davidson said, I know this is a very technical definition. It did strike me as like a Clinton-esque, it depends what the definition of is. But that in many ways was doing on direct examination what Cross was doing, which is, yes, this is not this is not exactly David Kendall, the, president's counsel at the top of the bar. I mean, we're dealing with, people who are engaged in this kind of work.
But again, the reason we're dealing with them is because Donald Trump slept with women who hired them.
Exactly. And they were putting out these non-denial denials, and that's what they were getting at, that they were going to, because Stormy wanted to somehow tell her story. She wanted to go on Jimmy Kimmel, but she wanted to not break the agreement that she had brokered with Donald Trump, because she was facing penalties if she did. So we just saw her, and she's just being cute, but she gets on Jimmy Kimmel. And the Wall Street Journal, one of the reporters that broke that story, Michael Rothfeld, is now working at the New York Times. And he said at the time they were aware it was a non-denial denial. And these things happen all the time with reporters. You really have to read through it. Like Donald Trump will tell us when we ask, did you pay income tax? He says, I pay tax. Well, that could be property tax. It's really, they're very precise in the language in order not to
and a jury knows that, right?
Yeah, generally, juries know that, especially smart jurors, and they are not necessarily going to look super kindly on the notion of trying to use language to be cute or evasive or elusive. I think that people who are listening and paying attention understand the difference between what it is to actually have a substantive relationship with someone and when you're trying to sort of BS your way out of a question by giving an answer on a technicality. And they don't appreciate the latter because they feel like, and Andrew and I probably both experienced this, don't lawyer me. Don't use these technical terms. Or
any parent, did you have your phone in your bed after the curfew? Well, it depends. It wasn't in my bed.
It wasn't in my bed. bed.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Every
Define
parent,
my bed.
every spouse.
Right, exactly.
I mean, in every marriage and every
People
family.
don't
They don't
take-
like to be spun.
They don't take kindly to that. And so that level of minutia with respect to semantics in front of most jurors is not going to play well.
You know what I thought an important point, though, of all of that discussion, because it was sort of like a little, they spent so much time on it. It was that still in 2018, Donald Trump was still, seemingly, through Michael Cohen, they were still in the middle of the Stormy Daniels thing. And trying to paying attention to, is she going on Jimmy Kimmel? What is she going to say? Michael Cohen was in the middle of that. 2 years later, they're still
until he's
worried
charged,
about it.
right? I mean, until he's charged. And please, I mean, Yasmin, 2 questions for you. One, weigh in again on the timeline presented to the jury today, because the alleged sexual relation, or no, the alleged sex. I guess we had to get rid of the word relationship and romantics. It was called the alleged sex. 07. Michael Cohen keeping her quiet till 18.
I didn't know I was going to be talking about all this stuff on TV as a grown-up, I have to say. But
Welcome
here I am.
to the fore.
I'm talking about whether it was a one-night stand or a relationship. My parents are probably like, man, oh man, what'd you sign up for? So you think back to 2000.
We're sorry to everyone's parents, right?
Yeah, exactly right. You think back to 2006, right? The allegations that were made in which Trump denies, and we do have to say that, is that Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump met in 2006 at a celebrity golf tournament, in which Donald Trump then said, I'm going to put you on Celebrity Apprentice. That was the night in which they had a one-night stand, hence the reason why it was not a relationship. They had some back-and-forth communications throughout the years. Stormy Daniels was approached in 2011, I believe, to reveal the quote-unquote relationship and or one-night stand. She didn't take the bait at that time, and it didn't obviously come out until years later, and the payoff went down in 2016, as we've been talking about, right? Just a couple of weeks before the November election. Karen McDougal, also a potential quote-unquote star witness, also meeting Donald Trump, by the way, surprise, surprise, the same year, 2006, but contends that she actually had almost a year-long relationship in which she actually visited Donald Trump's apartment in Trump Tower, and they exchanged multiple text messages, multiple phone calls as well. I actually think it's going to be very interesting, Nicole, to see if, in fact, Karen McDougal takes a stand, and we're expecting her to do that, how it is that they frame that relationship versus the framing, obviously, of Stormy Daniels' relationship as well. Also, to go back to the point that you guys were talking about when it comes to the way in which Stormy Daniels framed the relationship on Jimmy Kimmel, and that was kind of part of how they tried to attack Stormy Daniels' credibility and cross-examination, which was that she was trying to take advantage of a moment, right? She was trying to bolster her career. She went on Jimmy Kimmel. She wanted a book. Donald Trump didn't come through on Access Hollywood, as he didn't come through on Access Hollywood, on The Apprentice, as he did not come through for Michael Cohen on giving him a position in the White House. And so all of these people, all of these potential quote-unquote star witnesses are just out to get him. The problem with the argument, which is what Andrew Weissman talked about, is it's going to go down to whether or not he fraudulently whether or not he fraudulently put forward these records, right? That is really what this is about. It's not about the credibility of these witnesses, despite the fact that that is what the defense is trying to make this about.